Today we're going to finish up our warm and cool color window. So the first thing you need to do, if you want to, is cut off this top portion so you're only left with your window. If you don't have scissors, you can just color that top portion up there like if it was a wall. I'm going to cut mine off because I just kind of like the fact that it's just a window. After that, you need to decide, are you using warm or cool colors in your watercolors? Make sure that first, of course, you have this all colored in with your black and you have your silhouette. I did a couple because I was showing you guys last week a few different examples, but at least one silhouette, and then deciding, do you want to use warm colors, red, orange, and yellow, or you can use violet, green, and blue. I don't want you to use both because this lesson is about warm and cool colors, so you need to choose, are you using warm or cool? I'm going to use warm colors just because I think it will give like a spooky vibe or like a sunrise vibe. So first thing to do is, we know we have to activate the paint. So I'm just going to go through here, add a little bit of water to the colors I'm using. And you only need to activate 3 colors because you're either activating your warm or your cool colors. So I'm using my warm, so I'm coming through and activating those. And then you need to choose what color you're going to start with. I'm going to start, I think, my bottom with yellow and work my way up. So I'm going to start with my yellow, and I'm going to come in here and flow my paint in. So I'm using enough water that I can really, it's smoothly flowing. And once I start to run out of paint, I'm getting more on my brush. So I'm going to do a third of this with my yellow. Now as I'm going, I'm starting to run out of paint, right? Getting more paint on my brush. So make sure that you are using enough paint, and it shouldn't sound like you're scratching your paper. It should really be like a satisfying flow when you are doing your painting. Okay, so I'm going through and I'm painting a third of it with my first color. So again, I'm choosing yellow. It's up to you what color you want to start with, but that reminder again, you're either using only your warm colors or only your cool colors. So I'm using my warm. So I start with my yellow, and now I'm going to go into my orange. I'm going to turn mine to the side so it's easier because I'm going to go back and forth in a sweeping motion, and I'm going to bring a little bit of this down into my yellow to help blend it. And you can kind of tell, I'll show you again how I did that, is I just started with a thick line of orange, and I didn't put any more orange on my brush. I just swept down. And really cool that we used our crayon. It's really not going to paint over top of that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that orange up. And I'm going to not take it all the way up because I want a little bit of the red and the orange to blend, I think. But I'm going to fill all this in. And I'm keep going back and getting more paint on my brush. Once I start hearing that scrape, 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 and it's not really going as well, that's when I'm going to keep adding. My video is acting a little funny, so I paused for a second. Sorry about that. And I'm going to keep on going, filling that in. And I'm actually going to pause on my orange. I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to do my red because I don't want this to dry all the way before I add red. And I'm going to do the same thing as I did before, as I'm going to do one streak of red and then bring it down into my orange. And if it's not blending quite as well as you want, what you can do is I would not use more red. I would get a little orange on my brush and add a little more orange where my red and the orange meet. I'm going to bring my red the rest of the way up to this part here. And then I can go ahead and paint up here red, and then I'll go back and do my orange. And again, we're creating a little bit of a resist. So I have this cat up here, but it's really popping out because it's made out of crayon, and crayon is made out of wax, and the wax does not mix with the water. So it kind of creates a barrier on the paper. Now, I would like you to take your time more than I am. I'm going kind of quickly, so that way you guys have plenty of time to work on your artwork. And again, I'm keep going back. Every time that I start scraping, I'm like, ooh, scraping. Nope, we don't want that. So I'm going back and getting more paint on my brush. And I'm also, you're noticing, taking some more water every once in a while when I run out of paint in my palette. It means I need a little extra water in there. I'll swirl my brush around and that makes a little bit more over here. Now, as soon as it starts getting those little white, like right here, I'm like, oh, I don't have enough paint on my brush. Get some more. All right, last but not least, we're gonna finish up this side over here. As a reminder how I did that, rinse out my brush that doesn't have red. I get my orange here, and this will work if you choose your cool colors as well. And I'm gonna go up, but I'm gonna about the same height as I did on that side. And every time you're noticing, once it starts getting like these little, nope, I need more. So I'm coming back over here, and you can probably tell with my process is that I keep drawing more water over too. So now I'm ready for my red, and my red, I'm noticing, I think I need to make a little bit more red in here. So I'm gonna rinse, 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 put a little water in there, and then one line of red, just like I did before, and then I'm bringing it down in a back and forth motion, and then I'm gonna finish up that top a little bit more red. There we go. Flip him back around, and I have a fabulous background on here. Last thing I'm gonna do, y'all, is I get to decide how do I want my jack-o'-lantern glowing. So if you have the jack-o'-lantern, you can choose. I think I'm gonna do red just because this is yellow, and so I think red will like really pop in there. So I'm gonna do mine red. But if you have a jack-o'-lantern and you wanna do that a different color, that's fine. All right, and then that's it. When you're done with that, you're gonna take a picture for me and you're gonna put that into Schoology so I can see your beautiful artwork. I'm super duper excited to see what you guys came up with. Love you guys, and I will see you all next week.